By the way, I'm Juana Fernández. Good afternoon, everybody. As Michiel said, I work on EY, on Ernst & Young. I was happy because I love first times, and I was thinking that was the first time that I'm going to share the stage with an AI engine that translates my words, but I'm happy because it's the first time that I'm sharing with a gnome the stage. So at least I have one first time today. Okay, I'm here to present the report that EY realized. We released that report around 4 months ago, and it's a report that is trying to reflect the status of the AI across the European companies. Okay, when we talk about AI, a lot of questions arise, and also a lot of people is talking about the status of AI, but not everybody knows what this huge technological change and potential and how to get started with AI. So the aim of the report is to create an understanding about what the companies are doing, and also what are the ones that are investing in, and what are the most useful use cases that are using across the different industries. Also, it tries to leverage which is the status of the maturity of the companies when they work with AI technology. They expect that AI mainly will be beneficial to empower employees. This is the highest use case. And also, they expect that will help them to engage with customers. Those two are the main use cases that we realized when we asked these companies. Here we can see those companies. We interview close to 300 people, 277 different companies across 15 different countries, and they work in 7 sectors. You can see there companies like, for example, in Spain, BBVA or Mafre, or companies like Novartis or the banks like UniCredit. All of them were interviewed, mainly was the CIO or the executive that is in charge of the technology in the company, and if they have a responsible or a person that is responsible of AI, not all of them have an AI responsible, but if they have it, it was the person that answered the questions of this report. The first thing that we look for, it was about how, during the last 10 years, the different companies have invested in AI. And we looked to that feature about how many companies invested in startups across the different countries. It can give us the idea about which are the countries where we have found that these investments have been produced. I don't know if you can see the picture, by the way, but it's close to 1 million in United Kingdom. That means that it's reflected in dollars. That means that close to $1 million the different investors have invested on startups and small companies that are working on AI. And the figure in total is close to 800 million, okay? It's increasing, but it's mainly an investment that is done through investors, not huge companies. 70% of this investment has been done through venture capital firms. Okay, so the venture capital firms are the main companies that are investing on small AI companies. This is the figure for Spain, close to $130 million, 79 deals, but more or less, as you can see, across all of the different countries. The second one is France, and the third one is Germany, but on every country, we are seeing companies investing on AI firms. We have asked also the analysts, and what the analysts are saying regarding AI is that mainly the companies or the story is around big data, around computing and connectivity, and those are the technologies that are making AI increase. And also, it's really important that when they ask about which are the companies need, or what the companies or the organization need in order to have AI or to embrace AI, is around data and around people, around the talent that they have. Going for the first main question is about if AI is a priority. It's clear that AI is one of the technologies that they are thinking about, but what we ask is how big is the importance of AI across the different initiatives that they have in technology. I don't know, you can see more or less from the end of the room the figures, but let's say that in a score from 1 to 5, the average score is 3.1 regarding which is the importance. So we can see that more than 80% of the companies answer that for them AI is important or is one of the most important priorities when they think about technologies. Okay? The second one is the maturity curve. And the maturity curve is about in which status are the projects that they are doing around AI, or the initiatives more than projects. As we can see here, mainly what we have is a big amount of companies that are already here, that are piloting or starting to release. But solely only, for example, in the case of Spain, only 1 to 10, or in the case of Europe, only 10 companies across the 279 answer that they are advanced. The reality of the companies, and this is something that we are seeing on EY. I'm the director of the AI Center of Excellence for EY in Europe, and what we have seen so far is that they are asking us about to start with pilots, first with ideation session regarding to plan and to look for the use case, and mainly doing these pilots. So mainly the companies are piloting around AI. And it's interesting also to see these pilots and these starting projects in which part of the value chain are deployed across the companies. And what we have seen, I think, something that is not difficult to realize, that IT and the technology department is the one that we have found more of these cases. I used to say, having worked in several years also for Microsoft, and I used to say to my people, when you ask to the CIO if they want a pilot, they always say yes. A CIO never say no to a pilot about a new technology. They want to embrace new technology. So this is true, and they are also is people that is also used to embrace these new technologies. They are in contact with the main technology companies. So mainly around AI and IT, we have found a lot of, 47% of the pilots of the projects. The second one is R&D and product development. In the case of R&D, it's interesting because these people also used to embrace with new technologies. They are also used to work with a huge amount of data, and also R&D is already ready to apply, and also in contact with a lot of these new companies, like startups. So they are engaged with these new companies and able to test and to create pilots. The third one is all of the aspects or the value chain part that is related with the customer interaction. We have seen a lot of use cases with customer service and also for marketing and sales. The main reason behind that is that in the case of sales or in the case of customer interaction is that the result is something that you can prove. So you can go to the executives and see, I have a business case for this application, and what I can reach with this application is to increase my sales or is to reduce my cost. For example, we are already working with a telco, and we are in order to apply AI to their call center. And we have seen that only trying to apply that to a specific word, that is password, to the call center that they have for the consumer users, for the internet lines, they are going to reduce 70,000 euros per month. So it's something that is really easy, let's say, to sell internally, because you are going there with the use case. But in the case, for example, of strategy, or in the case of HR is another scenario that we can find several scenarios to apply AI, but it's not so easy to justify the business case. For HR, we have seen so many cases, like in order to, for example, to extract information from CVs or for onboarding of people, but going to the executives and trying to justify to apply that, to invest that money, to apply some resources for a case that has not this clear business case in terms of your P&L is not so easy. And this is the main reason that we are seeing these five areas, or these 3 areas where we are seeing the most common, use cases for AI. Regarding what are the companies doing, the main one is prediction. The answer is 74% of the companies are using AI for prediction facts. For example, to predict churn in order to avoid that customers move to another company, and to analyze and to anticipate events. And prediction is, in this case, for example, in the case of Siemens, what they told us is that they are using AI in order to make their products more reliable, and also to apply these predictive actions that came from different data sources. The second one is automate. We are saying that a lot of use cases for AI in order to make some process more automative, and also to help in order to avoid tasks for the employees, 20% or 30% of the tasks that the employees perform that are already automatized, and they can be done through an AI. The third one is to get insights. The main driver for AI is data. So in order to extract insights from that amount of data is the third use case. Identify and understand the trends or patterns into that data is the third use case. The fourth one is personalize. In the case of be ready to tailor content, to tailor the user experience. Again, we are seeing a lot of use cases related to the customer experience and the way that we interact with, or the companies interact with customers. And the final one is prescription. Is the smaller one between those 5, but there are also a lot of use cases in order to suggest solutions to define problems. And in the case, for example, of this hotel chain, they are using AI, in concrete natural language processing, in order to suggest to the people that interact with customers one of the huge amount, 300 templates that they have to respond to their customers' needs. Another of the main questions, and it's always a discussion that arises when you start to talk with customers about AI, is concerns, or which are the concerns and which are the risks behind that technology. And all of the companies agreed in the same 3 ones. The first one is the need for regulation. Here are 2 things: the internal regulation, the compliance, and internally the company has to be compliant with their business rules, but mainly is going, let's say, looking outside of the company, going in the case of Europe, going to European Union, asking for a regulation about AI. This is one of is the main concern. 35% of the companies highlighted that as the first one. A lot of initiatives there from the technology. In the case of EY, we are working also with Microsoft about a trusted AI in order to apply trust to the algorithms. There are a lot of use cases, and a lot of companies also working on that field. The second one is an interesting concern, because as I said before, without data you cannot apply AI. So you need a huge bunch of data. But the companies are scared in order to be overload for this huge amount of data. When we asked the companies, they said that they spent at least 2 years in order to have all of the data, let's say, ready, or the data systems ready, in order to apply technologies as artificial intelligence. The government of the data, the government of the data, and also who owns that data, the idea of not to have that data in silos, the sharing the different data across the different departments of the company is really important. But at the same time, we need to establish knowledge, which are the data that we really need. Do we have that data as a company? Do we need to create an ecosystem and to work with others in order to get that data? So all of the things related with that information is the second one. And the third one is the discussion about how this technology is going to affect to the employees. How we need to manage the talent across our companies in order to be ready to work for AI. And here we have seen so far, I used to say that two different movements. One that is thinking more on hire data scientists, hire new people with those capabilities ready to work with AI, and a second one that is more trying to train the people that they have in order to be ready to work with that technologies. It's true that we need experts on that technology, but what we have seen so far during the pilots that we have done is that we need business experts. We cannot apply AI only with technology, with experts on technology. To apply AI, you need also to work with the business and with business experts. So what the companies that are being more successful are the companies that are embracing technology, but through the business people. So they are not leaving the business people apart and hiring new people or new talent to work with AI. And regarding to personal also, another discussion is about how those technologies are going to impact to the tasks and to the personnel and to the roles that we have at the organizations. It's true that a lot of roles are changing, and we need people that is ready to embrace the change, to embrace the change and the new way of work, because AI, what brings is a new way of work across the companies. What we have seen, again, and coming back to the use case that I already told you about the customer center or the contact center, is interesting because at the end, what we are trying is also to use that people in a most useful way for the company. So we are using AI, we are trying to reduce, but at the same time, what we are doing is that, in this case, what AI is doing is giving that people new tasks. Okay, it's also, again, the discussion about if AI is going to reduce jobs, and what we have seen so far, that is not going to reduce the total number of jobs. What is creating is new jobs and mainly new ways of work, and in this case, new ways of interact with customers. Mainly, what we have seen so far is those four potential benefits from AI. And these are the answers that the company said in terms of the importance. The biggest one is to optimize operations. 89% of the companies think that optimizing operations, the way that they work, improve planning, reducing cost, using, for example, intelligent prediction, using operational efficiency, taking that insights and then, for example, the predictive maintenance is the main use. The second one, close to that, 74%, as I told you already, is engaging with customers. I think AI is transforming the way that companies engage with customers. You already answered the question about how to reach that place, no? And you reach that place, that hotel, because you use AI, no? At the end, the way that customers interact with companies is being affected by AI. The third one is transforming the products and the services. As I said before, using that insights, generating new use cases, we can transform the way that the companies service us or generate new products. And final one, 60% think that the most useful case or the most potential benefit from AI is empowering employees. As I told already, the way that the employees interact with their customers or work is changing thanks to the AI. What the companies need in order to implement AI? Well, the answer is those 8 capabilities, and we realize that 4 of them are what we call human capabilities, and another 4 are more technological or technical capabilities. From the human capabilities, what is needed is an AI leadership. It's clear that if an organization wants to embrace a new technology, could be AI or could be another technology. With the cloud, I think we have seen the example in the past. It has to come from the top. It's something that has to come from the top and go down. If the leadership doesn't trust on AI and doesn't want to embrace AI, the company is not going to do it. The second one is about the culture. So the companies need a culture that has to be open and has to be ready to work, to collaborate across the organization. As I told before, there is no space anymore for those silos or information. The employees need to be ready to share the information that they have, the data that they have with other areas. So it's really important to have a culture that is open. The third one is also the capabilities. So we call it emotional intelligence, but it's more about how that employees are ready to interact with the human behavior and to address the needs of their customers. And the fourth one is related with to be agile. To be agile in order to approach with this new cross-function. I always put the example of an engine that we generated 6 months ago for EY Spain HR department. They received 10,000 CVs per year. For almost all of them came from recent graduates from the university. And we created an engine that allows them to extract information for those CVs and based on the historical data, redirect those CVs in the 4 main business groups of AY. In that project, in that specific project, the amount of hours that the HR people spent on build the solution was the same amount of hours that the people of our team, the data scientists, the technology people expend. So at the end, we need to have people ready to work on those collaborative environments. I always said that we cannot create AI solutions without the business. No? And for me, the business in this case is HR, or could be operations, or could be the R&D department. Regarding the tech capabilities, we need to be ready in order to work with advanced analytics. It's important to have people with data scientist skills and able to work with that technology. The second one, and the most important one for the 8, is data management, as I already told you. Be ready to get data, to structure that data, to govern that data. And also, there is always a question when I interact with customers into my center is about which are the sectors or the companies that are more advanced. And I always say that the companies that have more data or have that data ready. When the companies have the data ready, we can apply AI. If the companies don't have data ready, that data could be about their process, could be about their products, could be data about their final customers. But if they don't have that data ready, they cannot embrace that change or that new technology. The third one, and also the second one in importance, is about alliance. And I prefer the word, instead of alliance, we used to use the word ecosystem. Another thing that we have seen so far is that it's really mandatory that we need to work not only with our data. I mean, if I'm a telco, what I need is not only the telco data. I would like to have, for example, the bank data, or would like to have the consumer data. I mean, if we, or in this case, the geographical data, for example, if we manage different layers of data, the accuracy of our solution is going to be bigger. So what the companies are doing now is starting to create ecosystems. And we are also receiving a lot of demand in companies like EY or the Big Fours in order to be the place where that ecosystems can be created. I think it's really important that the companies work together. When we see the beautiful use cases that David Carmona is going to show you tomorrow, the different Microsoft people is going to show you, to get all that use cases real, what you need is data from different sources. And in this case, what you need is data from different companies or from different sectors. Okay? And the final one is to be the emerging tech, or the capability to be ready to work with new technologies or to embrace new technologies. In the case of startups, of companies that are smaller, it's easy because they don't have the legacy, they don't have, I mean, what we have seen so far, and this is also clear, is that companies with, that have been created recently, or they don't have so much legacy, for them it's easy to advance with or to embrace new technologies. Again, we have seen that in the cloud area. But also if you are a company established or an old company, if you are used to embrace new technologies, AI is going to be easy for you. This is the importance that the companies interviewed give to the different capabilities. As I told you before, data management is one of the ones that has huge importance. Data management and advanced analytics from the technical side, and from the personal side, the part of open culture of agile development. The first graph is about the competencies, how they feel that themselves now. If they think that they are already competent in order to embrace advanced analytics or data management and the different capabilities. We are seeing, again, that they need to embrace these competencies in order to be ready. So what we need to get, what the companies need in order to take AI to a next level. We define those 5 main points. The first one is a step-by-step approach in order to get familiar with AI. We are seeing that in order, for example, with the example that I told you before about piloting, for example. The second one, the executive leadership, the approach from the top to the rest of the organization. The third one, the skills and the culture, so the people. The next one, the data strategy and how you embrace the technology. And final, generating this trust and also be ready to make your, I used to say, be ready to make your people more intelligent. Okay, I used to say that artificial intelligence is the engine that will make your organizations and your people more intelligent. And finally, if we put all of those aspects in one slide, what we have seen is those 4 main benefits: the engage with customers, enable employees, transform the products and optimize operations, the 5 functionalities around the personalized insights, prescription, prediction, and automation, and the 8 capabilities, the 4 technical ones and the 4 human ones that we need. So this is the recipe for the success that we have seen into the report, no? Looking at the answers of those executives that we interviewed. Okay, so thank you so much. I don't know if you have any or less.